when the Pakistani state and Mohammad Ali Jinnah himself betrayed the people of Balochistan and the Khan of Kalat. Who are the people supporting armies, operations, killings of innocent Baloch people? The government in power, right? Have you ever heard Nawaz Sharif or Imran Khan or any of these people, talking against the Pakistan army for doing the genocide? No, because Baloch are the lesser people. They are not Punjabis. Balochistan is inferior because the Sardars, grabbed all the assets. They have gone fatter and they eat all the resources. We send money from the center, but all these Sardars eat up the money. So Sardars are the evil. Why? You always criticize the Sardars. For any corrupt state, corrupt Sardars are the best allies. So why are they criticizing them? That's because those Sardars are not corrupt. They were never corrupt. Why they have not been able to crush this insurgency in Balochistan? Because the Baloch people, whenever they look at their Sardars, they see sacrifices. Every student from BSO Azad was tortured, picked up, disappeared, killed, thrown from the helicopters while he was alive. Majid Brigade is a brigade that works under Balochistan Liberation Army. It consists of all the suicide bombers. The Hunter Biden laptop from hell. They said it's Russian disinformation. And it was not. There was child pornography on that laptop. Hunter Biden was having sex with underage girls. There were records of evidences. There were videos. He recorded all those encounters. Nobody's releasing the Epstein list, guest list of Epstein. Where is that list? The day that list drops, you'll know that all these so-called media house, media barons and all these, the people, they will be part of those parties. Gwadar port is very dangerous for UAE because then what will happen to Dubai port? Why would Chinese vessels go to Dubai port then?
If there is Gwadar.
If there is one Gwadar port. People have illegitimate child. We are the only people who have illegitimate fathers. And we keep inventing new ones every 2-3 decades. When Pakistan was formed, Jinnah was the father. Then Americans became the father. Then Arabs became the father. Then again Americans became the father. And now the Chinese are our father. BLA does not need money from India. BLA does not need weapons from India. Why? Because billions of dollars worth of oil smuggles through Balochistan to rest of Pakistan from Iran.
Hello friends, my name is Chitresh Kapoor. Welcome to Defensive Offence English, your go-to podcast when it comes to matters of national security and defense. Today we have the founding and the editor for Defensive Offence and DO News, Mr. Vaibhav Singh.
Thank you.
Vaibhav, welcome to your own channel.
Thank you so much.
So I'd like to hear from you what is going on in Balochistan. There's a lot of things that have been happening for the last maybe 6 months. They have been happening for 80 years, but what specifically has been happening, if you could just take our viewers through it?
So the thing is that Balochistan is probably one of in the modern history, the longest ongoing freedom struggle in a modern world, the world that we live in. Started in 1948. It's a long history. Everybody knows about it. So many podcasts, so many videos people have already watched about the history of conflict in Balochistan. But just for the starters, I can tell that it started when the Pakistani state and Mohammad Ali Jinnah himself betrayed the people of Balochistan and the Khan of Kalat.
Okay.
And Mohammad Ali Jinnah used to be the lawyer of Khan of Kalat who advocated for, independence and freedom of Khanate of Kalat, the state of Balochistan. Because Kalat was not like other princely states. People always say, India was never one unit. It was like 553 odd princely states. And, there was no option for any state to remain independent. There were only two options, that either you could join India or you could join Pakistan. Even if we accept that, you can say template for a moment, Kalat does not fit in that as well, because Khanate of Kalat was never like 543 odd princely states.
Okay.
Understanding or the agreement between the East India Company or the Britishers and the Khan of Kalat was different from all of them. It was that, whenever the Britishers left, it was because Khanate of Kalat had two houses, Upper House of Parliament and Lower House of Parliament, which is called Upper House of Assembly and Lower House of Assembly. Both the assemblies voted unanimously for the independence of Khanate of Kalat. So it was not a princely state. It had its own democratically elected representatives from different parts of Balochistan who used to represent those people in these assemblies. Okay. So once the resolution was passed, so we live in a democratic world. Democracy might be new for Pakistan, But Khan of like the Khanate of Kalat was a democracy much before the Pakistan was created. Pakistan is still not a democracy; it's a bloody banana republic or whatever you can say. But Khanate of Kalat was a democracy in a way. So once they passed the resolution, so it became the responsibility of the entire world, every democratic world, to uphold that democracy in Balochistan. But America and the Britishers needed Pakistan for the great game that was going on between the Soviet, because we are talking about a post-Second World War world, where the Soviets defeated single-handedly all the Germans. They Americans, all these Britishers, they always take credit for the defeat of Germany in the Second World War. But actually, people who defeated Germany was Soviets. Okay, and they gave the maximum sacrifice. They lost up to 1 million people in that war. Nobody talks about it. Okay? Because all the propaganda and narrative is always in the hands of the West. So they always do that, and they do that with everybody. Like their democracy is democracy, but our democracy is a flawed democracy.
Of course.
Okay. You can see, homeless people on the roads of United States. You can see the problem of fentanyl that Donald Trump talks about. But when they talk about India, all they'll have to say is like India is a third world country.
Hungry India, poor
people,
India.
Poor India, this and that. So if ISRO launches a rocket, they'll publish a cartoon on Washington Post and New York Times. You remember a very epic cartoon.
Absolutely.
With a bull knocking on the door. Right. A farmer with a bull knocking on the door of ISRO.
Right.
So this is what they do. So this is what they did. So, but what they did, they were the democracy, right? Instead of standing by the Khan of Kalat, they chose to stand with Pakistan, because they knew now the Soviets have won the war. We are not the ones who have won the war. So now they will march. They'll march down, and Soviets did in times to come. They came up to Afghanistan, okay, during the Cold War, which was cold only in West. In Asia, it was pretty hot. Thousands and millions of people being displaced, martyred, getting killed. Democratically elected leaders getting hanged in Afghanistan. So they chose to stand with Pakistan. So Pakistan invaded Balochistan. So the same Jinnah.
Which year would this be?
For 1948.
Okay.
So Jinnah advocated for the independence of Balochistan in front of the Britishers for almost a decade as a lawyer who took fee. But Jinnah being Jinnah, somebody who ran away with his friend's daughter, I mean, you can expect anything from him. So he eloped with his friend's daughter. So this is the least you could expect with Jinnah. He ordered invasion of Balochistan. And then Liaquat Ali Khan supported it. Okay. And all the subsequent leaders who kept coming, including the leadership we have till today, from Nawaz Sharif to Imran Khan to Zardari to Bhuttos, who did not, support Pakistan army in its genocide in Balochistan. Everybody did. Okay. Even right now, who are the people supporting armies, operations, killings of innocent Baloch people? The government in power, right? Have you ever heard Nawaz Sharif or Imran Khan or any of these people, talking against the Pakistan army for doing the genocide? No, because Baloch are the lesser people. They are not Punjabis. Okay. You can kill Sindhis, you can kill Baloch, you can kill, all the Pashtuns for all they care. You don't kill Punjabis. All right?
The owners of Pakistan.
Yeah, they are. Like Lahore is Pakistan and Pakistan is Lahore, or Punjab is Pakistan and Punjab is like everything in Pakistan. And Baloch insurgency is very different from other insurgencies all over the freedom struggles all around the world. Because most of the insurgencies, like when it started, the first man who took to the hills with armed men was the brother of Khan of Kalat.
Okay.
So they always led from the front, whether it is Sardars or the Khan himself, anybody. You'll always find Pakistani people, Punjabis and all the Pakistani army officers always criticizing, and their puppets in the media, they will keep telling you that all these Sardars are the real culprits. Pakistan is inferior, like Balochistan is inferior because the Sardars, grabbed all the assets. They have gone fatter and they eat all the resources. We send money from the center, but all these Sardars eat up the money. Okay? So Sardars are the evil. Why? They always criticize the Sardars. For any corrupt state, corrupt Sardars are the best allies. First So why are they criticizing them? That's because those Sardars are not corrupt. They were never corrupt. Okay? They were never beat, Akbar Khan Bukti.
Right.
Okay? Nawab Akbar Khan Bukti. He was the lord of like the Bukti tribe or Khair Bakhsh Mari. Okay? He was the lord of the Mari tribe. And all these people are the people who always supported Pakistani state. Do you know this? Akbar Khan Bukti used to give donations to Muhammad Ali Jinnah's Muslim League.
Okay.
Khair Bakhsh Mari used to give money to the Pakistani state. They say that, these Sardars take money from the center, these Sardars paid you the money. From the very inception of the idea of Pakistan, they paid you money.
When Muslim League was just there and Pakistan did not exist.
Yes, because Muslim League was, the cadre of Muslim League was from all these educated class Aligarh Muslim University students. But sponsor were all Nawabs. Be it Nawab of Rampur or Nawab of Mahmudabad or Nawab of this Junagadh. All these Nawabs paid them money, or Nizam of Hyderabad. These were the real sponsor. And up to Balochistan, Nawab Akbar Khan Bukti and Khair Bakhsh Mari, all these people were the ones who used to pay money to Muslim League.
So it's a classic Pakistan example. Take money and then digest and forget about it.
And accuse the person for doing what exactly you do. ठीक है? जो खुद कर रहे होते हैं उसका इल्जाम दूसरे पे लगाते हैं.
That's okay. That's part of their DNA.
Yes. So the difference between that struggle and other struggles around the world is that always Sardars and the Khan himself, his family members used to go on the front line and fight. Okay? And like Mari, BLA was built by whom? Baloch Mari. Baloch Mari was the elder brother of Harbyar Mari, who's now, and his younger brother Mehran Mari is there in London, son of Khair Bakhsh Mari. I mean, Baloch was the one who built the BLA. He fought against the Pakistanis and he was on the hills himself with the gun, facing the bullets of Pakistan army. So there is a difference why they have not been able to crush this insurgency in Balochistan. Because the Baloch people, whenever they look at their Sardars, they see sacrifices. They see how, the Sardars have, gave their sons, their brothers to the struggle. The Sardars themselves sacrificed their lives like Nawab Akbar Khan Bukti. In other parts of the world, people who lead the insurgency never join the battle. They don't go on the front lines. Their kids don't go on the front line. It's the ordinary people, most of the hired guns, people who don't have money.
Cannon fodder.
Okay? Or, the criminal element of the society, they hire them. But Balochistan is different in that aspect. That is why they have not been able to defeat. And now the phenomena has changed. Earlier, when all these Sardars used to fight from the front, the poor people, people from villages, farmers, they used to join the struggle with them. Okay. Now, in today's Balochistan, doctors, engineers, lawyers, all these people are joining, all these youth, they are joining this struggle, whether it is Balochistan Liberation Front or Balochistan Liberation Army. Dr. Allah Nadar himself is a doctor.
So what has happened in the last 20, 30 years as far as the struggle is concerned? So from an innocent farmer, now it's an educated engineer. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. So now the ordinary Baloch, educated Baloch, he has seen that you don't let us do politics because the Baloch Students Organization, BSO, it has been like at the front lines of the oppression that has been committed by Pakistani army and ISI. They have been at the receiving end for the past bloody 20-25 years. So Baloch had a political struggle also, but they did not let that succeed also. Dr. Allah Nazar Baloch was a young politician from university at, this Balochistan Students Organization. हमारे यहाँ पे भी like we also have NSUI, we have BJYM, okay? And so these are the student politics organizations. NSUI fights elections in the Delhi University, here, there. So you give a voice to the students, the youth. If they have a political opinion, Government might not like it, but you let that steam come out of that pressure cooker from time to time. They will make noise, like pressure cooker makes noise. Okay, but at least the pressure will be released. He'll settle down. What you did, every student from BSO Azad was tortured, picked up, disappeared, killed, thrown from the helicopters while he was alive. They have thrown at least 10,000 Baloch from the helicopters alive. Can you believe this? Anywhere in the world, nobody has heard such kind of horrid incidents where a live man is thrown from the helicopter. A student. Why? Because he does not agree with the policy of the government or the armed forces.
Okay.
That was his crime. He did not pick up the gun. Because if he had picked up the gun, he would have joined the BLA or BLF. He would not be in a student organization, for God's sake. Okay? So, all the recruitment started coming from BSO, BLA and BRM. Today, there are two faces of Baloch struggle. One is Dr. Allah Nazar Baloch and one is Bashir Jeb.
Okay.
Dr. Allah Nazar and Bashir Jeb both are educated. Okay. And Allah Nazar is a qualified doctor.
Okay.
Okay. All the suicide bombers like Shari Baloch, she was a mother of two kids. She joined Majid Brigade and blew herself up in Karachi.
I want you to explain about this brigade that you're talking about.
Majid Brigade is a brigade that works under Balochistan Liberation Army.
Okay.
It consists of all the suicide bombers.
All right. Is it only women driven or it can be anyone?
It has both.
All right.
So Shari Baloch basically led from the front. Educated, well-settled Baloch woman who stood up for her people. She was not poor. She was not deprived of any assets. She had a family. But the state did so much of torture and, unjust, you can say, they were pushed to the corner, the Baloch people. She saw it in front of her own eyes. And she said, no, I'll not stand aside. I'll do something about it. She volunteered for Majid Brigade.
Okay.
Against the Chinese. He said, who are the Chinese to come here? Because the Chinese trawlers come in the sea and the poor Baloch whose livelihoods depend on the fishing, those trawlers come and they just empty the entire area of any fish at all. And the Baloch who do not have like a very sophisticated boat, they mostly use handheld boats. They can't compete with them. They can't go 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers in the deep sea to fish. They were dying of hunger. Why? Because the Pakistani Punjabis, they had a deal. They said, okay, you fish wherever you want and just give us our cut. The Baloch die of starvation. We don't give a damn about it. And then, Gwadar, you displaced more than 1 million people out of a particular area where they have been living for bloody 5,000 years. You said you are not welcome here anymore. Now Baloch in Balochistan have to show ID cards that they belong to that place. You can't come to Banaras, my hometown, and ask me, show me your ID card. Okay? When you are not from there, you are from 2,000 kilometers away and you are asking me to show me my ID in my own land. That's not acceptable. So these are and you are taking gas out of Balochistan. You are taking gold out of Balochistan. You are selling everything. Sui, the village from where all the gas comes out, which feeds the gas to Lahore, entire Punjab. Piped gas from Sui was sent to Punjab in 1960s.
How mineral rich is Balochistan?
It is very, very mineral rich. Okay. Very much. It's loaded. Like a Baloch man, a very wise Baloch politician once said, he said that, a Baloch might be born without a slipper or without socks. The exact word was socks. But the land on which he walks is made of gold.
And Balochistan is extremely poor.
It is let me tell you this. So Sui gas, from where, LPG goes from Balochistan to Punjab. It went from Balochistan to Punjab. The piped gas went to Punjab in late 1960s.
Okay, it's that old.
Okay. And Sui, the village from where that gas is coming out of, they don't have piped gas till today while we are recording. That village, forget about Balochistan. That village does not have a piped gas till today.
And it is providing gas to Punjab.
Entire Punjab, entire Karachi, Sindh, everywhere. But the village from where that gas is, every villager in that village still cooks on wood fire.
Okay.
Every household in Sui.
And what is the international media doing? So-called Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. Why aren't they reporting anything about missing persons and all these things?
Because they need a Pakistan army. Okay, they have needed Pakistan army, as I told you, since 1947.
Soviet is gone.
Okay, when Soviets were gone, then Soviets came in the Cold War. Then again they needed them. Then once Soviets were gone, war on terror started. They
Afghanistan.
needed Pakistan in war on terror. And all these reporters, South Asia correspondents of New York Times, Washington Post, all these so-called Western CNN, they are corrupt to the core. Let me tell you this. They are part of a great rot that is there in America. And they are so corrupt that they don't only do injustices to the people from third world countries like Pakistan and Afghanistan. They do injustice to their own readers and viewers within the United States, because all they do is utter lies for different interest groups that are based in Washington. Okay. Donald Trump called that as the Washington swamp.
Fake news and...
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they created the Russia hoax against Donald Trump. There was nothing. That Hunter Biden laptop from hell, they said it's Russian disinformation, when it was not. I mean, there was child pornography on that laptop. Hunter Biden was having sex with underage girls. There were records of, there were evidences, there were videos. He recorded all those encounters. He did, he spent more money on hookers than you can imagine. And he used credit cards to pay the hookers. Can you imagine this? There's a digital trail for that.
White money.
Okay? So these are the kind of things that these media houses do. Child smuggling from all around the world have been going on in the United States. From Latin American countries to other countries, children are smuggled into America and supplied to people like Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and all these, sick-minded Democrats. Can you imagine? They're not releasing the Diddy clips, no? The Diddy parties. Nobody's releasing those clips. Nobody's releasing the Epstein list, guest list of Epstein. Okay. Where is that list? The day that list drops, you'll know that all these so-called media house, media barons and all these people, they will be part of those parties. There'll be beneficiaries. There'll be, there will be videos of them also coming out. These are the kind of sick-minded people that we are talking about. Why would they talk about Baloch people, some thousands of miles away, rotting in some sand dune somewhere in Balochistan?
So my question is, if Balochistan actually would attain freedom, wouldn't it be financially more beneficial for the deep state of America? Because then in that case, Sui gas and all the minerals, the wealth generated would directly go to them. It's just a hypothesis.
It's a good hypothesis. And Baloch Baloch struggle has gained momentum. If you look at their dresses, if you look at their equipments, if you look at the way they are operating, the kind of gadgets they are using, it's going that way. And the Gwadar Mega Oil City project, which is there, UAE and Gwadar port is very dangerous for UAE, because then what will happen to Dubai port? Why would Chinese vessels go to Dubai port then?
If there is Gwadar.
If there is one Gwadar port. Okay. And so Dubai's interest or the Middle Eastern interest is also there. Then American interest, because if the Chinese get that access, if Chinese start actually, if the project materializes as China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and that means that the Belt and Road Initiative has been successful. Because CPEC is one of the biggest part of the BRI project. Okay. So if that happens, then the American hegemony will end kind of, no? So it's in American interest also. So Americans left so much of weapon and cash in Afghanistan for a purpose. And once they have left, you have seen what havoc, TTP is unleashing in KP. And what havoc Baloch are unleashing in Balochistan and Karachi. So, I mean, nobody would have imagined the kind of casualties Pakistan is having 5 years ago. I mean, 200 dead in a day, 100 dead in a day, 90 dead in a day. And it's happening so regularly. Okay? In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the TTP is holding places like Bajor, Kurram Agency, and all these places. I mean, nobody could have imagined that apart from South and North Waziristan, now they have managed to come into... Yesterday, they attacked Dera Ismail Khan into Punjab, TTP. They launched a very coordinated attack there. I mean, Americans are playing their game. I won't say that they are not. I mean, these idiots keep blaming Afghanistan and India for that. They should blame America, but they can't. Because their whole economy is running on the US dollars that are coming from World Bank and IMF. So they can't take the name. But it's actually America that is behind.
Because suddenly, the last attack, not the yesterday one, but few days back, they had thermal imaging camera. So they knew well in advance they could attack drones.
Those are all American weapons, no? American gadgets that Americans left.
But who taught them? There must be someone who's given them the training as well.
Yes, I mean, there are always people for hire, because there were all these gadgets were being used by whom? Afghan soldiers, right? So Afghan soldiers, I mean, if I have been an Afghan soldier, I mean, or if I have been in NDS, National Directorate of Intelligence, which was their intelligence agency of Afghanistan, I have been told that because they knew once Taliban comes, the first people they are going to target and kill are the people from the intelligence agency, because they were the ones who targeted all these Taliban soldiers. So all these NDS retirees, when they were on the run, they ran wherever they got shelter. And they were for hire because they needed to take care of their families. So they sent their families to countries like, the Central Asian countries like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and all these places. But they themselves also, ran to different countries because they had secrets. They had information which they could share, which they could sell. They had certain expertise which they could teach. A lot of them also landed in Balochistan also, I guess, to teach them about with all the gadgets and all the equipments. I mean, that's my hypothesis. This is the information that I have. I don't confirm this information, but that's a possibility. And it's a good, you can say that it is believable. We can believe it. Okay, this can happen. It's not like it's impossible. It's possible because obviously they needed to, earn so that they can feed their families.
So, I mean, 200 soldiers killed few days back, and yesterday, 90? And primarily, most of them would be Punjabis, Pakistani Punjabis.
Yes.
And why aren't the local people revolting? Because if you hit Punjab, you basically hit the nerve center. So why is there not a revolt?
I mean, most of these people who are being killed, these are Jawans. These are not
officers.
These are not officers. Okay. And even in that 200 soldiers who were killed in that Jafar Express, the train, only one major was there.
Oh, rest all were
Nayaks, Lance Nayak, and Jawans, Sipahi, Havaldar, all these people. So they don't matter anyway. Like even in Punjab, I mean, if you're poor is poor. It does not matter whether it's a Punjabi poor or a Saraiki poor or a Baloch poor or a Sindhi poor. poor are just poor. So, and officers don't travel like this. Most of the officers are using helicopters, choppers to travel. So, I mean, 90% of the area is not in their control in Balochistan. Okay. And for them to protect Gwadar, most of their, human resource, the Fauji human resource goes into protecting Gwadar. Okay. Because there are Chinese there. And we had seen how they attacked Pearl Continental in Gwadar few years ago. And it was a nightmare kind of situation for Pakistan. And Chinese were so pissed off. They said, if you can't deal with these Baloch, let us send our forces there in Balochistan. And they said, no, we'll protect you, we'll defend you. They said, they bloody came to Pearl Continental inside Gwadar and they killed our people. And you could not, vacate the building for next 3 days. So Pakistanis were embarrassed. And they said, no. Then again, they just pulled their people from different parts and they beefed up the security of the Gwadar. They said, okay, kahin pe bhi kuch bhi jaye. Our people die, no issues. Chinese
को कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए.
Chinese should be protected at all cost. So because Chinese, I was talking to Salman Rashid. He told me this, like, we are the only people in different parts of the world you go. People have illegitimate children around the world. We are the only people who have illegitimate fathers. And we keep inventing new ones every 2-3 decades. When Pakistan was formed, Jinnah was the father. Then Americans became the father. Then Arabs became the father. Then again Americans became the father. And now the Chinese are our father.
Turks
are, they keep inventing their new fathers. So, and Salman Rashid himself is a Lahori. Okay? He said that. He's from Punjab. So, this is the problem. So, they have to protect Chinese. Now, the Chinese have to think that if these buggers can't defend themselves, how are they going to defend us? How are they going to defend the Chinese trailers and Chinese vehicles going out of Gwadar to Xinjiang and all these places? It's going to be a long journey. And obviously, Pakistan Army can't put a constable every 100 meter. And these Baloch they have been fighters. Do you know, during the freedom struggle, maximum number of sacrifices for the independence was given by Baloch people.
Okay.
A British writer wrote that when I got out of Quetta, he was a travel writer. He said, when I got out of Quetta, up to a mile, I could see Baloch people hanging on the trees. The Britishers hanged them, and he said, up to a mile, I could see only bodies hanging on the trees. Even the Britishers could not defeat them. They never gave up in front of Britishers. They are fighting since then. They have never accepted any rule. Punjabis are used to taking titles. They are used to taking land from the Britishers, jobs from the Britishers, visas from the Britishers. Baloch are known for fighting the Britishers. And after Baloch, maximum number of sacrifices were given by the Pashtuns. They were the ones who kept fighting the Britishers. Punjabi never fought against the Britishers. The only Punjabis who fought against Britishers were the Sikh and Hindu Punjabis.
Here, in this side of Punjab.
And even from that side of Punjab, only Sikh and Hindus fought against the Britishers. Punjabi Musalman never fought against the Britishers. They were the collaborators of the British. That is why, Britishers, this MI6 always relies on Pakistan. That is why if you're a Pakistani getting a visa to UK or London, like UK visa is very easy for you because the MI6 trusts them. They have been allies. Sadiq Khan has become mayor of London because, he became mayor of London and it was surprising to other people. And I was like, why are you surprised? The Queen Victoria's chefs were Punjabi Muslimans. So, come on. It has been like that always.
So, do you think BLA and TTP, are they now going to work together?
They already are. They have. Okay. I made a video on Defense Offence Hindi about a couple of months back. And and I broke this news that there has been understanding, there has been an agreement between BLA and TTP that they are going to work together and they'll be supporting each other. And then a lot of people in Pakistan and all the so-called experts, they came out and they said, "Yeah, what nonsense is he talking about? It's not possible.
Common enemy.
No, it's not possible because TTP is they are the religious fanatics who want to create Islamic State. Baloch struggle is more of a linguistic, ethnic struggle. Okay, so I mean there is no commonality between them. And I said, you don't need to have all the common grounds. You need just one common ground to collaborate. Okay, you can have your own differences. I mean, you can be a very different person. I can be a very different person. But if we have a mutual interest and a mutual enemy, that is enough for us to collaborate, right? So that's what has happened. 2 months later, now the Pakistanis are saying that the TTP is helping BLA and BLA is helping TTP.
Of course.
So a couple of months back when I broke the news, they were accusing me of being a silly man, sitting in Noida and talking.
That's okay. We're used to it.
So
So what should India do? And what has India done at all, if at all?
India should give all the humanitarian aid. Okay, if any Baloch comes to India for treatment, if they need some help, India should provide all the humanitarian aids like clothes, food, or place to settle down if they want. Okay, medical help, and you know much about it yourself. So India should do that, and I am sure that India has been doing, because Pakistan recently released a photograph, not recently, a couple of years ago, that the chief of BLA, who used to be a chief of BLA, his photograph in a New Delhi hospital receiving treatment, and he was head of BLA before Bashir Saib, Aslam Achu.
Okay.
So they released the photograph in front of entire media, Pakistani media. See, he was receiving treatment in India. So I am saying that, if there are Baloch who are wounded, who are Baloch who are in need of medical help, we should do that. And if more than that, I don't think that we need to give them anything, because they are sitting on gold. Okay. BLA does not need money from India. All right. BLA does not need weapons from India. Why? Because billions of dollars worth of oil smuggles through Balochistan to rest of Pakistan from Iran. Do you think if they hold the 90% of the area, all these illegal tankers go to Punjab and Sindh and other places without paying taxes to BLA?
No.
BLA already has a lot of money. It's Pakistanis are idiots. They're stupid. They don't understand this. BLA does not need India for money. BLA does not need India for weapons. If you have the money, you can go and buy weapons in Libyan black market. And you can buy weapons which even Indian army doesn't has. Because those weapons, when Americans left from Afghanistan, they left the weapons there. Okay, a lot of that was sold by Taliban for cash to the black market. And all those weapons landed in Libya, because Libya is undergoing civil war. From Libya, you can supply to Syria. From Libya, you can supply to Turkey. From Libya, you can supply to different parts. Okay. So if BLA is able to make so much of money from natural resources and all these smuggling that happens in Balochistan, I mean, they can pay a arms dealer in international market and he can deliver all those weapons from Libya to Balochistan. All right. And Iran-Pakistan border is the porous border. We know that. Balochistan-Afghanistan border is a porous border. Okay. So, I mean, they don't need Indian help. Pakistani should understand, your ISI is a duffer organization.
Number one army. Number one agency.
It's number one duffer organization. Okay. Because they have not been able to stop this smuggling, because they are the beneficiaries of it. There's the core commander of Quetta is beneficiary of it. ISI commanders, local commanders are beneficiaries of all these oil smugglings, because we are talking about thousands of crores of rupees, billions of dollars. And they are part of the rot. So they are not doing anything about it. So your kids are dying because they are not doing their job. They're making money out of it. So anybody who's not able to become army chief in Pakistan, he is made corps commander in Quetta to pacify him, because it's no less than being an army chief. Because the amount of money you make in Quetta or the Southern Command, I mean, it's unimaginable.
So, what stops India from providing diplomatic assistance to them? Why not set up an embassy or a high commission in Delhi, in Chanakyapuri? We have land,
No, like we have that with Tibet also.
right?
Okay.
But not Dharamshala. Dharamshala was not the right move. It should happen in Delhi.
Yeah, but the thing is that what it is going to yield as a result. Like we open an embassy of or High Commission of Balochistan in New Delhi, suppose. What will happen? I mean, it won't be able to do much because the Indian people are already in support of Baloch people. Okay? Indians already support Baloch freedom struggle, Baloch fighters. I mean, if government of India announces that we are going to give $2 billion every year to Baloch people for their struggle, nobody in India would question that. Okay? We should focus on how the Baloch struggle reaches the West, not the media, not the leadership, to the people of the West, so that they know the kind of genocide these Baloch people have been facing for past 7 decades, the kind of struggle they have had fighting against a nuclear armed country with the armed forces that is made of the army that is made of 700,000 of soldiers and officers in Pakistan army. They have not been able to defeat a ragtag organization like BLA, which isn't a ragtag organization anymore, because they have done unthinkable. They hijacked a train and they held it for more than 72 hours. It has never happened. Because train is not like an aeroplane.
Multiple exits.
There's so many exits, and the sheer length of train is so much. To cover the entire train, it will take time. People can get out and run, but they have done it. So they have proven that they are not ragtag organization anymore. They are not the ones who were wearing flip flops and salwar and kurta and fighting in the mountains. No. They have military gear, they have military attire, they have a command structure, there is a chief, then there is an intelligence wing, then there is a special operations wing, then there is a suicide operations wing. I mean, they are operating like a bloody regular army. And what I am told, that recruitment of BLA has increased multifolds. So what used to be 15, 20,000 fighters is now reaching up to 50.
Motivation levels have gone up.
And you can't defeat an organization like that, especially when people are not there with you. The Baloch people are not there with you. Because, like, if you look at India, middle class people always supported the state. Okay? The elites or the ultra poor always went for the revolution and fighting and this and that. But middle class, in any part of the country, wherever the insurgency happened, it always wanted stability. They wanted peace. They wanted their kids to go to school, study. In Balochistan, the middle class is against the state. Now the middle class is joining the BLA.
Okay.
All the students are joining the BLA. As in the beginning, I explained that you didn't let them even do politics in universities. What option do you think they had left? You killed their friends in front of their eyes. You abducted their friends in front of their eyes. You abducted women, raped them, and threw their body on the streets. Baloch women. I mean, they are going to fight. Shari Baloch went out, and there was no need for Shari Baloch to be a suicide bomber. If she had to be a suicide bomber, she would not have married and had 2 kids. She could not see all these things. So the Western world has to see. Ordinary people of United States, UK, they need to see what Pakistan army has been doing, the genocide in Balochistan. They talk about Ukraine because the Western media is harping Ukraine. Nobody in West knows what bloody hell is happening in Ukraine. The Ukrainians are minting money out of that conflict. All the expensive cars in Europe is being purchased by Europeans. All the expensive homes in Geneva, one of the most expensive cities in the world. Most luxurious houses, bungalows are being purchased by them. Most expensive vineyards are being purchased by the Ukrainians. All the most expensive holiday destinations are being occupied by the Ukrainians. In $350 billion, something that America gave, and similar amount of money which was given by the European countries. Do you really believe that in the past 3-4 years of this war, I mean, $500 to $600 billion have been spent in the war?
They're not fighting.
What are the Ukrainians fighting with? Artillery shells and drones, FPV drones. Does it take $600 billion to use them or build them or operate them? Come on. What are we talking about? So, but the Western people know about that. Why? Because the media kept pushing it. Our media never pushed. Our people never pushed it. Our NRI friends who live in European countries, they never share about the Baloch struggle. Because some of them, I don't talk about everybody, but some of them feel like, their Lahori friends will get pissed off. Or they won't join him for dinner. I have a colleague from Pakistan. That doesn't, that colleague from Pakistan, he doesn't mind sharing memes about a struggle or news about the struggle of Kashmiris and all these, fake propaganda of ISI and ISPR. They spread it all the time. When they have to go in front of the Indian High Commission, they join the Khalistanis openly.
Big time.
They join all these, Kashmiris, so-called Kashmiris, which are 99% Punjabis. Okay, so it's a responsibility of all of us. Western world should know. Indians know. We have done our job. In our language, in Hindi language, since 2018, we have told every Indian about what Baloch problem is, where Balochistan is. Now it's your responsibility to spread the message amongst the Europeans and support the Baloch in their struggle. Because unless the Western world stands up, and Baloch have to take their freedom, and they will take their freedom. But people should know about their struggle. People should know about their sacrifices. Just imagine 76, 78 years, and they have been fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and Pakistan army has not been able to defeat them. India is the only country which has ended not one, not two, not three, but multiple insurgencies in this country. We ended Khalistani insurgency. We ended the insurgency in Kashmir. We ended the insurgency in the Northeast, Nagaland. We are the only ones who have successfully done it. So, and Pakistanis, there you can see KP, they have not been able to handle for past 25 years. Balochistan, they have not been able to handle for past almost 80 years now. And very soon the GS in the movement will also begin.
Of course.
Okay, it is inevitable. Once that begins, there have been 3 uprisings in POJ, Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, in past 5 years. Okay, and which was, all of them were crushed brutally by Pakistan army. Okay, but till when? Till when will you be able to kill people in Balochistan, Sindh, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and POK?
So if I were to ask you a question, do you see a breakup of Pakistan happening again? It's already happened in 71.
It will happen. Maybe not so soon as we would wish, but it will happen. It's an artificial construct. That country was made on a drawing board, okay, in Oxford University, right? Some 7-8 decades ago, 9 decades ago. It's an artificial construct. It can't survive. They wouldn't have survived, but the nuclear bomb has kept them intact. The day Western world sees that, like we could see, like people like us, but we kept on telling the government that, you just go inside and just bomb them, just kill them in their homes, and they'll stop doing all the nonsense in India. But they always were like, if you come, we'll use nuclear bomb. If you come, and Indian government used to be, okay, we are not coming. You can come and you can kill our people. Because we don't have a nuclear bomb, right? So they kept doing it. But when the government changed and this government started giving it back, Pakistan still has nuclear weapons. Now they don't talk about it. Now they don't say that don't come or we'll use nuclear weapons. Because they know that this regime
will reply. In the language
respond.
they'll understand.
They will respond, and they will respond in kind and with much force. So now they have learned the lesson. So I mean, but Western world and us, we realize that disintegration of Pakistan is not going to create the kind of nuclear nightmare that we keep talking about, or the Western writers and Western analysts keep telling you about. That if Pakistan disintegrates, the nuclear weapons will go to the Al Qaeda and Taliban and this and that. And nothing. I mean, before that happens, Indian authorities will already be there to secure them, because we also don't want,
of course,
nuclear weapons to land in the hands of Al Qaeda and Taliban, right? So, and our intelligence works actually, unlike ISI. We are not busy smuggling heroin. We are not busy smuggling Iranian oil. We are not busy smuggling, doing all this tanker mafia, water smuggling and all. So, like, Indian intelligence agency is an intelligence agency. Okay, we are not a mafia that operates on smuggling goods.
So, quick question. Pakistan is busy in Balochistan. By Pakistan, I mean Pakistan Army. What stops India from, activating LC?
Why should we? Because once you activate LC will not be activated from one side only. It will be activated from the other side.
Then it has to be planned. That's my question.
So it will be activated from the other side also.
Correct.
Maybe their casualties will be like 15, 20 casualties on the border.
Which they'll hide.
Which they'll hide, obviously.
Very good at hiding bodies.
But you will also have casualties.
Of course.
Okay, maybe not 10, 20, but 2, 3, 4 casualties. Right now, more than 300 Pakistan Army soldiers have died just in a week. Okay, in Pakistan. I mean, even if you open the LC, you can't kill 200 Pakistan Army soldiers in a week. If they are dying already, why do you have to lose your 3-4 good men? You don't have to. Let them die where they are dying. In KP, in Balochistan, in other parts. Let them die. I mean, the job is being done, and in a much better fashion, in much bigger numbers.
And it doesn't impact our economy.
It doesn't impact our economy. It doesn't impact our people. Yes. It doesn't impact people who live on, because these buggers, what they do, once they open fire, they start firing in the villages. Okay. And most of the people who suffer from this are the people who live in Jammu. Okay. The Jammu region. So, I mean, why do create issues for those poor villagers? The Dogras, they are the ones who suffer the most. We don't have to. Dogras have done so much for this country.
Yes.
I mean, we have never been thankful enough to the Dogras. I mean, today you talk about the state of Jammu and Kashmir and their treaty, this and that. It's all because the Dogras built that state. The Dogra kept that state for you. And even after independence, the Dogras are the only group in J&K who have always stood with you without any ifs and buts, without asking anything in return. They have never said ki you make someone from us a governor or this or that, or then only we'll do this. I mean, they have joined forces in the maximum numbers, beat CRPF, beat the army. Okay, they have just given everything. They never got anything, and they have never asked for anything. They're one of the most patriotic lot in this country. That is why whenever the LC gets activated, these Pakistanis, the first thing they do, they start firing on the villages of the Jammu region, because the Dogras are living there and they really hate Dogras. And they don't even hate Dogras of our region. Dogras who are like living in on their side, the Muslim Dogras, they hate them also. Because all these Punjabis, they are occupying their land, they are occupying their resources. I mean, those Dogras are also like fed up. So, I mean, that's all I had to say. So that is why I think LC is better not activated, and I support that stance of the government. I mean, if they're dying, 400, 500 casualties in a month, I mean, I say Merry Christmas to that.
So we will definitely have a separate podcast just talking about Dogras for sure. There's a lot that we need to talk about.
And I think you should call a Dogra to talk about it, because me talking about the Dogra history is not right.
All right. So on that note, thank you so much for watching Defensive Offense English. We would love to hear from you. Please make sure you like and subscribe. This channel is totally dependent upon you. We want to give absolutely unbiased, unfiltered information, and that can only happen if you support us in all possible ways. Thank you. Thank you, Vaibhav.
Thank you.